So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to your new Prince of Persia. That's him on the right. And his lovely accomplice, Elica.
I think
I'm going to start talking today about Elica. I've said a lot about her in the past. I talked about her at UB Days and in some previews in the past. But now you get to see her in action. I said that Elica never gets in the way. And you see she doesn't get in the way. I said she never dies. She never falls behind. You can see she's always on your tail. And I said that she is there to make you, the player, feel cool. She is there to support the prince. The prince is an action hero. He's already a pretty powerful prince. She's also there to help save the prince if he dies. The prince is already a pretty powerful action hero, but by collaborating with Elica, he's able to just go that much further. She saves him if he dies. She helps point the way through the world to make sure he doesn't get lost. You'll see that in a couple of minutes. She helps him go further, go faster, and just make sure that what was already a pretty fantastic action hero is now that much cooler. Now, the second thing I'm going to talk about
Don't say it's quiet. Don't ever say it's quiet.
is our world structure. So Prince of Persia is no longer a linear game. We've taken the player out of the linear Prince of Persia experience that you saw from the past trilogy into a world where they are in charge. They get to decide where they want to go. Now, Tama, if you can just look around a little bit here and show them the left, show them the right, show them back, show them forward. Those are all possible paths for the player to take. And depending on the path that you take, gameplay is going to evolve differently and the story is going to evolve differently. So no two players are going to have exactly the same gameplay experience. And hopefully it will lend itself very well to replayability. Now, for the sake of this demo, we followed a certain path, but before we could complete it, we are interrupted by the hunter, which leads me into the third point, combat. As you can see, the combat in Prince of Persia really centers around the idea of a duel. It's you and it's Elica facing off against one enemy who's every bit as strong, every bit as capable as the combined power of you and Elica. It's going to take everything you've got to defeat this guy and every other enemy in the game. We really want you to have that sensation, that sense of urgency that comes from the feeling of a really, really spectacular boss fight. And we want that every single fight in the game. We want the camera really close, so you get those really cool dramatic shots. We want to make sure that you and Elica have the opportunity for some spectacular, collaborative, acrobatic combat against this enemy. And choosing to do this duel-type fight has allowed us to do exactly that. Now, Tama, obviously being the designer of this system, is very good and managed to make short work of our friend the hunter, and he's run away. So we're going to chase after him. Acrobatic flow is very important in Prince of Persia. In the previous trilogy, if you were a very talented player, a hardcore player if you will, you were able to pull off some incredible acrobatic sequences. But if you're a more casual player, shall we say, perhaps just getting used to the Prince of Persia franchise, there was a lot of stop and go. Jump, die. Jump, wall run, die. Jump, wall run, pull, die. And that's not really the rhythm that we want. We want all players, casual, hardcore, whatever, to have that sense of accomplishment that comes from just flowing through the world and hitting every single move just seamlessly, while at the same time making sure that those really advanced players have lots of opportunities to explore different pathways, maybe find some shortcuts, maybe string together a couple of moves that the casual players hadn't thought of. You're going to find, so we're arriving at our final destination. You see that big blue beam of light. That is the healing ground. But before we can reach the healing ground, our destination in this demo, the hunter is back for one last fight.
he comes back.
Back?
You've weakened him, but he's not dead.
Oh, of course not. That would be far too simple.
So now Elica is going to use her magical power to drive the corruption out of this world. All of that dark matter that was really infecting the world is going to be driven out by this magical healing blast. And the flowers and the life and the light are going to return.
Do you want to rest?
Ahriman won't rest.
And this gives me an excellent opportunity to talk about the last critical point that Tony mentioned earlier, the look and feel, the artistic direction of Prince of Persia. Hopefully you will all agree this is unlike most video games you've seen before. We call this artistic direction illustrative. We have what we feel is a very unique game. It's a unique franchise and a unique game. And we want our artistic direction to really dovetail with that uniqueness, to show all of you that we're not afraid to take risks, that we're not afraid to try something different, and that we have an artistic direction that really embraces the fantasy heritage of this brand. So ladies and gentlemen, that's Prince of Persia. It's coming out this holiday season on the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, and the PC. If you'll just allow me to reiterate the 4 key points one last time. All new artistic direction, I just mentioned it, I don't need to repeat it. Open world structure, bringing the player out of the linear corridors, out into the open world. Their gameplay choices impact how the game unfolds, how the story unfolds. No two players will have the same experience. Elica, a revolution, we believe, in the action-adventure genre for the AI-controlled support character. She never gets lost, she never gets in the way, she only ever makes you feel cooler. And, of course, our all-new combat system. Thank you all very much. I hope you have a great E3.